We live? Oh, there you go. All right, Knicks fans, 121 to 116 went over the New Orleans Pelicans. This wasn't pretty the whole way, but when it mattered most, the New York Knicks executed. Jalen Brunson gave us 32 and controlled the game late. Cat dominated the glass with 14 boards, and this team made winning plays down the stretch. But let's be real. New Orleans stayed right there the whole night. So the question is, was this a strong close or is this still warning signs? Let's talk about it. This is Nixon-ish, and somebody has to do it.
Hit the intro.
Boom shakalaka! The Knicks are grit. These kids and our party just lit. Bet is the littest. Good. You know we lit. Good. You know we lit. You know we lit. You know we lit. Turn up, no we lit. Turn up. You know we lit. Let's go deep down. You know we lit. Mrs. Nixon. You know we lit. Kev, what up? You know we lit fresh, that's the Pearl A Lord. You know we lit Knickerbocker, have a talk. Let's go! Since the Knicks. We lit.
Yo. You already know what time it is. It's time to talk that Nixon-ish. I'm your boy, the infamous one, Knickerbocker Avenue. Joined to include, but not limited to, of course, you know her as the First Lady of Nixon-ish, Mrs. Nix. And our beloved, and you know what he is, our beloved host,
Spark plug.
Mr. Tea Time himself. Shout out to Fraz and Kev, wherever you are. Hope you all doing well. Well, you heard it at the top of the show. New York Knicks, 121. New Orleans Pelicans, 116. I'm okay with the performance, but initial reaction, I know she's not happy. So let's start it off with Mrs. Knicks. How you feeling?
Sis, before you do that, let's do some housekeeping. You already know the vibes. Shout out to everybody that pulled up. If you didn't do so already, make sure you hit that like button, share. There's always Karen. You know what I mean? If you're new here, make sure you subscribe, press that notification bell, set it to all. If you got some time, stop by the Shopify, cop some merch. You know what I mean? Shout out to Sis Darlene in the building. Shout out to my guy Maddie Smooth in the building. You know what I mean? Stephen Kennedy is in the building. Mike is in the building. Word. Shout out to everybody. My bad, sis. Do your thing.
Not happy at all. Again, we played down to an inferior team. We cannot continue to do this. There was some good points to tonight's game. We got to see Mikal shooting rhythm kind of, get back on track. Another great game from Jordan Clarkson. We did get to see someone other than JB bring the ball up for some of the game, which we talked about previously, which needs to happen. But end of the day, we allowed a team that is 25 and 48 to go down to the wire with us, really to the last minute. Because to be honest, if it wasn't for the technical foul and then foul at the very end, outcome could have been different. I'm trying to mentally tell myself this is building Nick's character, but I really don't feel that in my soul. I really feel like they play down to their competition, and that's not a good look going into the playoffs. You have to play your best basketball. You're on mute.
Knickerbocker.
I'm going to be a little bit on the contrary here. I think that tonight, it should have been belt to ass. I mean, I think we all expect that, considering, the level of the opponent. But to be honest with you, I think that the Knicks tonight, as Sis alluded to, building the character, I think that the Knicks are kind of going into that playoff mode. I think I mentioned that after the Brooklyn game. The Knicks are right now, they're reacting to the opposition, which is kind of what you're going to be doing in the playoffs anyway. When you're playing the same team, 4 out of 7 games, 2 home, 2 on the road, then you're going flip-flop, with the travel day in between. I think that each game is going to be different. It's going to have a different character. It's going to have a different tone. It's going to have a different set of circumstances. And I think that tonight, the Knicks just played to whatever New Orleans brought to them. They're not typically a good three-point shooting team, as been alluded to on the telecast, and they were hitting the three-pointers like crazy. They do lead the NBA in steals. You saw some of that tonight, and the Knicks reacted accordingly. I think that the Knicks limited the amount of heat. I mean, there were times where it was just getting a little bit too close for comfort. It was definitely cardiac time almost in regards to when New Orleans taking beats here and there. But to be honest with you, I'm not upset. I would be normally, because Sis is absolutely certain 100% on the money with they're playing down to their competition. But to be honest with you, I think that just racking up the victories, and if you look at it from for all intents and purposes, the Knicks are on pace to be better than they were last year. They went from 50 games to 51 games, and now they're at 48, 49, and you still have 9 games left in the season. The Knicks can probably go to 53, maybe 54 wins. And we haven't done that in 14 years. So on one hand, yeah, the level of performance could definitely be better, but I am enjoying the level of intensity I'm seeing on both ends of the floor. The ball movement is a little bit more efficient, and Karl-Anthony Towns has definitely stepped into the big man spot as he's supposed to. Something that we've been asking for quite some time, and I'm okay with the performance. I honestly don't know how you feel, T.
I think we're not giving the Pelicans enough credit. Yeah, I mean, they've been playing really good as late. I forgot what their record was over the last 16 games or something, but it was a solid record. You know what I mean? It's well over 500 over the last 16 something games. I can't remember. They said it on a telecast tonight, but we're not giving them enough credit. You talking about one of the team that leads the league in paint points. You feel me? And they got Zion. You can't sleep on a team that got that kind of a talent. And even though as a whole the team don't shoot well, they have good shooters on that team. Trey Murphy is a sniper. Trey Murphy is a sniper. So, yeah, I think we should have won this game handily, but I'm not surprised that we didn't, because the Pelicans are not as bad as their record dictate when they're healthy. You know what I mean? They've been really putting in work these last few games. So again, like I said, I do believe we should have won this game handedly, but I'm not surprised that we didn't. That's a solid team over there. But in a lot of times we do stuff we came out, we finished the first quarter great. We finished that first quarter great, all the way up to the last second 3-point shot made by OG and Anunoby to give us, I think it was a 12-point lead or 14-point lead, something like that, right? Second quarter, we came out on cruise control. Straight cruise control the second quarter. And they cut the lead back down to, I think, 5 or 4, something like that. And that's the kind of game he was playing throughout the whole game. We build momentum, then we take our foot off the gas. We build momentum, then we take our foot off the gas. And that's why this game was closer than it should have been. It like Knickerbocker said, it was cardiac moments at some point in the game, because it's come on, bro. I know we ain't about to shit the bed on this game, but I'll take it. I'll take the win. You feel me? Now we're virtually tied with the Celtics. We percentage points lower than them, but we're virtually tied for second. In all likelihood, The Celtics get smoked tomorrow. And then we're in second by ourselves. I'll take the W. I'll take the W for sure. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'm gonna land the plane there. Well, unless y'all got something I want to add directly or like generally on the game, I got some questions, but you know what I mean? You muted, sis.
My bad. I agree with you that the Pelicans have been playing better. I think I looked at their record. They were 6-4 over the last 10. But I feel like a lot of the threes that they made were very uncontested. And this has been a trend with the Knicks, which is bothersome for me. Like, I'm okay with teams, that don't normally shoot well, having good nights. It happens, right? But when it's consistently, we're just leaving guys open behind the three. Yeah, that's going to be a problem, especially when you go into the playoffs facing teams that can shoot. Right now, we're struggling against teams that don't normally shoot well. What happens when we play a Boston who'll just throw up threes all day? You know what I mean? We can't allow them to just be wide open. And that's where my issue is with that.
Now I agree that our 3-point defense has been a struggle most of the season for sure, and that's something that needs to be fixed. But I think it's people just from what I see is the lack of communication on the rotations. Once we get in the scramble mode, we in trouble. But that's any team. But what I've noticed, we get in scramble mode way too often for my liking. If you in the building, you haven't done so yet, make sure you hit that like button. And if you're new here, make sure you subscribe. You feel me? And if you like the content, sharing is always caring. You know what I mean? But yeah, that happens too often for us. I think we're going back to switching way too much too early. Jeremy's house was good. We're going back to switching way too often. We're getting caught in too many mismatches. And sometimes we go to overcompensate, say, on a contest. I've seen that happen a lot. We're going to close out on the three-pointers, and we're flying by guys that get into the paint, which puts us in scramble mode. This is something that Mike Brown was highlighted earlier in the season. That was an issue, that we was flying by guys on the contest, and guys have an easy lane to the basket to either score or kick the ball out. And we're starting to get back into that bad habit. We're trying to overcompensate with shooting the three. More discipline on our closeouts. Better communication on rotations. I think that fixes that. But also, I keep on saying it. I really feel like guys is coasting until we get to the playoffs. I know we're supposed to be all running on all cylinders, but every time I watch this team play, it look like they go out and be like, yo, can we win this one with like not playing that hard?
It's kind of like, can we do this on 60% effort tonight?
Or and then they be like, oh shit, nah, we can't. All right, we got turned up real quick, guys. You feel me? That's a dangerous game to play, but that's kind of what it seemed like to me. And Mitch was right. We got to start. We started this game a lot better, and that's what helped us get the win a little bit easier than a lot of the other games have, because we started well. I feel like as long as we continue to start these games well, we're going to continue to win. It's just we like these. I get it. Guys are hurting. I'm watching guys limping on the court a lot more often than I would like. But yeah, we got to finish strong, man. I really do want that number 2 seed. And the only reason why I really want the number 2 seed is because Boston got it right now, to be perfectly honest. That's the only reason why I want the number 2 seed this bad. Boston got it. That's the only reason why I want it. Because I really feel like no matter where we at, we're a tough out for anybody in the Eastern Conference. You know what I mean? We got smoke for everybody. You feel me? So the only reason I want the number 2 seed, just to say we got something over Boston yet again. You feel me? But all right. So the question is, I asked it earlier in the in the cold opening. Was this a good closeout game for the Knicks, or is this more cause to be worried? Knickerbocker, you started.
Obviously, it's a good closeout because it ended up with a W. Do we necessarily need these kind of closeouts every single night? No, obviously. This is where Mrs. Knicks is 100% on the money when she says that we're playing with our food. It shouldn't have come to that. But then, you do go back to what you were saying earlier about the Pelicans. They have been playing pretty good basketball. They've been playing spoiler for quite some time now. They know who they are. They don't have a legitimate center. They don't have, I know they have Zion and others, but, are they really a threat in the Western Conference? No, absolutely not. DeJounte Murray is still kind of working himself into, back into shape, pretty much playing for next season. But the reality is that I think that the Knicks just closed out pretty well. Obviously, we got the W. Should these things continue to happen? No, but let's be realistic. This is what the playoffs are going to be. Almost every single game in the playoffs, if you're not up by 30, you're going to be needing, this conditioning of testing your fortitude here and closing out big games. Given this is not a big game, this is just another game on the schedule. However, we are closing down the end of the season. If you get into this conditioning of, you're playing an opponent who's coming at you into your building, and they have nothing to play for, absolutely nothing. The Pelicans have been eliminated for quite some time now. Since they have nothing to play for, what exactly are they here for? They're here to disrupt you. So now the Knicks have to respond to that and defend not only their record, but of course they have to defend the Mecca. So I'm not that thoroughly concerned. I think I was last week till I realized, we're still in March. And the playoffs don't start for another 5 weeks, or I think it's like 4 weeks now. But the reality is that I'm not seeing any NBA team right now, even the teams contending for the playoffs, smoking teams on a regular basis at this stage of the game. Guys are getting set. Guys are resting. Guys are, they're giving 60, 70% effort, just like, we were joking about earlier. And I don't see anyone in the NBA right now who's a clear dominant favorite at this juncture. Standings might tell you that, it's Oklahoma City and Detroit and this, that. But not everyone, come on now. Let's just be realistic. In the playoffs, it's a different animal. It's a different beast, and everyone can get got on any given night, and especially in a 7-game series. So I'm not concerned right now.
Sis.
And I'm going to say the opposite. I'm concerned. I'm concerned because we have yet to see the Knicks consistently do things correctly. Yeah, they may be coasting. That sounds good. But this isn't something new. This is something we've seen all season long. And we have yet to see improvement on a consistent basis on all the things that they're doing wrong. And so it's a little concerning. I'm glad, Knickerbocker, you changed your little statement towards the end, because tonight the Hornets absolutely put belt to ass in their game against the Kings, 134-90. So yeah, maybe the top seeds aren't playing so hard, but the lower seeds or teams that are still kind of competing or even have nothing to lose are playing hard. And we've seen it over these last few games with Brooklyn, now with New Orleans. And the next team we play is going to be the Hornets, who again just scored 134 points in, a game that may be meaningless to us. They're in the 9th seed, but going back to the Knicks, I need to see some work on all the things we've called them out on this season. Defending the 3-point line, a little bit more bench contribution, helping JB bring the ball up, And even just someone else stepping up. Because when you look at today's game, down the stretch, it was all JB. And it was like no one else was assisting to help him. And that bothered me a lot. And then when I heard Jordan Clarkson's post-game interview, he even said in the fourth quarter, we just let Captain take over. No, that cannot be the mindset. That absolutely cannot be the mindset going into the playoffs, because we know in the playoffs, teams are going to try and stop JB. Someone else has to step up. Y'all are very capable. Everyone on this team, I 100% believe in them. I know they're capable of, stepping up, but the plan cannot be allow JB to cook in the fourth. It just can't be.
Sis, I'm going to have to strongly disagree. I'm going to have to strongly disagree. Because we've had a bountiful amount of success with letting JB cook in the fourth. A bountiful amount. We 2 games away from going to the finals with his fourth quarter, keep the game close, and let Captain do what the Cap does. And it works. It works. It works. And tonight, he had a lot of help scoring-wise. You got 2 other people in 20 points, with over 20 points.
No, I'm saying down the stretch. I know. He didn't get a lot of help.
That's fine. That's fine, because we know what time it is. We like to intercept. Thank you. We know what time it is when it comes to even though we ain't monetized like that yet, you let it play too long, we get a message that said this is not.
Yeah, we 30 seconds.
We can't monetize this video. But yeah, and then the bench contribution, you had what? 23 points off the bench. I mean, I'm not mad. Well, this is what we've done. And what I'm happy about seeing is that JB is actually in his game in fourth quarter form, because in a lot of the most recent games, he hasn't been in fourth quarter form like that. Like, he hasn't. Now, coming into the playoffs, I need my guy to play like how he did tonight in the fourth quarter. Now, when we know JB obviously don't got it in the fourth quarter, then that's when I'm looking for somebody else who needs to do something. JB is missing shots. But when JB is cooking and there's nothing they could do to stop him, like tonight, there was nothing they could stop. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Give Cap the ball and get the fuck out the way. Get out the way. Get out the way. Yeah. But one thing I was weirded out about is watching Cats having such a good game on the bench in the fourth quarter. That was wild to me. I understand they're playing small. That's to their detriment when Cat is on the court. Give Cat. Oh, you're going to play small. We're going to post up Cat every other time down the court. Jackass. We're going to get 2 points every other time down the court, or you go to foul. Because I'm watching this game and I'm like, because I got distracted. I got a phone call, so I had to step away for a couple minutes, right? And I come back and I'm like, did Cat get hurt? What happened? Is Cat hurt? I gotta go. I'm going on my phone like, oh Lord. It was a timeout and I watch him standing up, walking with a t-shirt on. I'm like, you can't be serious, man. you can't be serious. But another thing, I'm gonna let it play here that also kind of saved our ass tonight. The Pelicans coach had a brain fart because that Fierce kid was wilding us up. And when they put him on the bench, I was like, oh, thank you, Jesus. Oh, thank you. Because that kid could not miss tonight. You know what I mean? I mean, I get it. They're playing small. You're thinking about matchups. But I watched him put Cat in for offense. And then after the free throws were taken, he put Jordan Clarkson for defense, and I was baffled. We put Jordan Clarkson in for defensive substitutions now? Now, granted, give JC some credit. He's been playing way better defensively. But that was still kind of wild to me. We doing offense for defense for Cat and JC. That's crazy. I'm gonna land the plane there.
I also kind of look at it that whenever a team goes small, unless they're outrunning you, I don't see the point in going small with them. And New Orleans by midway fourth quarter, they were out of gas. They had really no answer. I mean, they still try to fight, but they were really out of gas. So I didn't see the point in going small. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's always nice to see the team get up and down like that, and be able to move the ball without the big man. But Cat was cooking tonight, so I didn't see the point in taking him out, other than for defensive purposes, on a couple of possessions. But hey, I mean, at this point, we ended up with a W. I'm not going to question Coach too much, even though I've been questioning him all freaking season long. But I'm going to be keeping an eye on that, come postseason time, because you can't do that all the time. You can do that sometimes, but you can't. But you do that too often and become predictable. That will cost you a series. That'll cost you a swing game, and especially series 2-2, and you're going to game 5. You need to be able to count on Cat to hold his own in those crucial moments. So I mean, this one scratched my head a little bit. Because I thought Cat was cooking, but we won. On to the next one.
So let me ask this question, because I understand what you're saying, T. On, it's proven JB is the fourth quarter guy. He's won us games. That's good. However, when teams are throwing 2 or 3 people towards him, and he either can't get a clean pass out, or the team seems a little disoriented because they're so used to him handling the fourth quarter in clutch situations, what happens? Because we've seen plenty of times throughout this season where either he has an off game or he's not in the game, and there's times where the Knicks look like they don't know what to do. So what happens in situations like that? Because we know JB's not going to have it every single game, right? So what happens when he doesn't have it, or they're just throwing too much defense at him and no one else knows what to do in those clutch situations?
So this is why it's important that Cat is playing the way that he's playing right now. Because he's the number 2 guy. The number 1 guy ain't got it, then it's the number 2 guy job. And then you look at the way OG's been playing lately. If the number 1 and 2 guy ain't got it, then it's the number 3 guy job to step up. And then between that, you start looking at Josh and Mikal, like, okay, it's time to do something. And that's the beauty of having a player like Josh Hart, because at any given moment, I know Josh knows that, I probably could take this to the cup more times, like double the times than I do on an average game. And we've seen games where he just like, all right, JB ain't got it, Cat ain't got it, I'm going to the bucket. I'm going to the bucket every time now. You feel me? And that's when it's their job. But like a light night tonight, where they didn't blitz JB in the fourth quarter to get him off the ball nearly as much as they should have, right? If you're the Pelicans, JB should have got blitzed off the ball every time he touched the ball in the fourth quarter, but they didn't. And they allow him to operate. And what I've noticed the Knicks is doing now too, like you said, JB starting to bring up the ball less. They're running him off of a lot of screens, and when he gets those screens, he's attacking immediately. You feel me? Like, he gets the ball, he attacks immediately. And then at that point, it ain't really too much you can do. If JB is coming off those, I don't know the correct terminology. I'm a fan. I watch a lot of basketball, but I'm not a coach. Yeah, like the down screen, whatever they call them shits, right? I don't know what they call them shits, but you know what I'm talking about. When he's coming off the 3-point line and they set the double screens for him to get the ball and to turn the corner to go downhill or just to get that separation for a brief second so he can operate. He's attacking those way quicker. And it's once he does that, you're at his mercy because if you double while he's going downhill, you're almost positively giving up an open three-point shot, right? So then you have to try to play straight up defense. What I have seen people do, which is kind of dangerous and JB got to look out for, is wait for him to pivot before they send a double team and catch him when he's trying to do that mid-post spin. Because sometimes he don't shoot the ball, he'll pump fake, and then he gets stuck there. So that's the only dangerous thing I see. But even still, that's still dangerous for the other team because he could catch the cutter, and then that's an easy two. But to your point, to answer your question, when they're sending extra defense at JB or JB don't have it going, this is why you go and trade for Karl-Anthony Towns. This is why you pay OG Anunoby all this monies. Same thing why you trade for Mikal Bridges and then pay him all this monies. It's their job when the captain is not having it is for them to lift up the captain. And it's just that simple. You know what I mean? And it's the captain's job to realize I ain't got it. Let me give up this basketball. You feel me? But if the captain got it going, I want the ball in the captain's hand. I'm gonna land a plane there.
On that note, I have noticed the same thing that a lot of defenses, when they are successful in slowing JB down, they'll go to trap him right around the wing as soon as he crosses the 3-point threshold and right before he hits the paint, and they try to trap him. Because he's a lefty, he's always on the opposite side of where his shooters are. And if they play their cards right, they place a big man in front of him, between him and the basket. That way he can't get to it because then you're shooting a lot of dangerous passes. JB, because of his skill and his knack for getting around motherfuckers and drawing fouls, quote unquote, he still manages to get around that. So it's very incumbent that the other four guys are actually creating more different passing lanes and not just being stationary around the 3-point line. And you saw a little bit of that tonight, where shots weren't open and they were shooting right into the paint, finding OG down low, finding Mo down low, finding Mitchell Robinson down low. That is what they're going to have to do and start utilizing JB as more of a decoy in just those instances, because you're not going to be able to do that all the time. Eventually, a defense is going to figure it out, and then you're going to open up the can of worms and deal with JB. Hopefully, he still has that shooting touch. But this is where you kind of need, this is where you miss Deuce McBride. This is where you miss, or you need a Tyler Kolek. You need a Jose Alvarado. You need three other guys who can create and play make, not only for themselves, but for others, because OG really doesn't do that. Mikal doesn't really do that. Karl definitely doesn't do that. Josh Hart can on given nights, but he doesn't do it consistently. So you're going to need those other point guards. Deuce, I know, is not a point guard, but you're going to need Deuce. You're going to need Jose Alvarado. You're going to need Kolek down the stretch. And this is where he will get 5 minutes in the playoffs. But this is where I've noticed that consistently. They trap JB right. What up, Will? They'll trap him right at that threshold. Once he crosses that 3-point threshold, right before he gets to the paint, and they're successful in slowing him down, just keeping him out of the paint long enough. Now the Knicks have to react. So that's the way you kind of combat that. Hopefully they're listening. Mike Brown is aware of this, and success.
Or you can just have somebody bring the fucking ball up. you can't trap JB if he ain't got the damn ball.
What was crazy is that when he didn't have the ball, he still has Sadiq Bey on his back, and And that's why they got in foul trouble. They were over the foul limit in three out of the 4 quarters of tonight. Like, they were over the limit in each one of those quarters.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself, like, they really trying to keep the ball out of JB hands. They still weren't able to do that because once he got freed, he can light it up from the outside. He can dribble you out of your socks. And, he's crafty, and he will get to the line one way or the other. But fortunately, Karl had it going tonight. OG had it going tonight, and they were feeding Mitchell Robinson whenever they could. Which, I mean, I don't think we talk about this enough, but Mitchell Robinson. That was the one thing that we were bitching about. Mike Brown said that he promised we were going to see Mitch more offensively. It's starting to show now.
They're starting. When the defense collapsed, they are starting to find Mitch underneath the basket for easy buckets, which is something that you can do consistently because they're going to help off of Mitch. Because offensively, he's the most limited out of everybody on the court. So a lot of times they're coming to help. You're going to have to help to recover off of Cat. You're going to have to help on JB. When Josh get in the lane, you're going to have to help. Mikal don't drive nearly as much, but when he does, still the same thing. Mitch is going to have a lot of opportunities of being open, and they're finding them finally. Yeah, so I don't know what happened in the meeting when somebody was just like, "Hey, he be open, right?" you know he be open, right? See, look, it could be just that simple. It could be just that simple. He's a lob threat. Just throw the ball up to the man. He's there. He's going to catch it and he's going to dunk it. But it's not only with Mitch. It's been with a lot of players. We've been seeing them that when they're in the dunker spot. I do know that term, right? When they're in the dunker spot. They've been getting the pass on the cuts. It's an easy 2 points. Like, let's get some easy 2 points instead of we're going to chuck up some threes. And I think we didn't even chuck up. We shot a lot of threes. Still shot 33, but it ain't 40. We shot 30,
it ain't 40.
But it ain't 40. You feel me? And we shot it almost at 40% tonight, too. So I wouldn't have been mad if we finished with 43s and shot it at 40%. But getting the easy twos are just as important, and especially if you play some defense. We didn't play much defense tonight. Yeah, let's be perfectly honest. The Pelicans shot 50% from the field, 44% from 3-point range. It's nasty.
Shit, they scored 116 points. That's saying enough.
Yeah. It is, and I'm not gonna lie. Even though it doesn't, our shooting numbers don't say it. In some spurts, the Pelicans was playing some hellified defense tonight too. You know what I mean? So that's what even made the win kind of impressive, that the Pelicans was on fire offensively and they were putting up a hell of a fight defensively, and we still was able to win this game, even though we gave up 50% shooting from the field. And them playing, because it's been plenty of times when a team come in this hot, shooting the way they did, and playing the type of defense they were trying to play, that we'd have mailed this one in. And we'd be sitting here crying and complaining and crying. So I'll take the dub. Yeah, I'll take the dub for sure. The dub is absolutely excellent that we got tonight. You know what I mean? Because, again, even though they eliminated, they don't have no first-round pick. The Pelicans don't have a first-round pick. So they're not.
Oh, right. They don't.
They're not tanking nothing. And we got to also realize this too. Some teams just want a feel-good win. We are an elite team in the league now. We are officially an elite team in the league. And some teams would love nothing more than to pull up to the Garden or play the Knicks and get that, we beat a championship contending team. You know what I mean? And we're getting everybody's A1 effort. Oh, what a time. And what a time that everybody's coming to play the Knicks and like, we're going to try our hardest. Because I watch teams play other teams and be like, I don't care. I don't care. Even the Wizards, they supposed to be taking, and they playing hard against us. It don't matter who it is. The Nets, they supposed to be taking, and they playing hard against us. You know, you mentioned the Hornets putting belt to ass. They got to. They're fighting for their playing lives. They fight. They in a 3-way tie right now with wins, and we all know, right? Was I tweaking? No, I'm not. Yeah, and we all know that it matters what spot you in the play-in. Is the difference between having 2 chances to make the playoffs and having 1. That's important. You know what I mean? So they got to do that. And they played Memphis. Memphis is dirt. Memphis is dirt. And then Melo was having one of those, like, I saw the highlights. That boy was shooting. Bro. From everywhere. I'm talking about he had like 3 logo 3-pointers. It was one of those nights, man. You had one of those nights. But yeah, and I don't think everybody's giving the Charlotte Hornets their best, right? I don't think that's the case there, right? See, they're in the one loss and you out bracket right now, right? No.
Yes.
Yeah, they're in the 1 loss and you out bracket. Yeah, they got to play like this.
Yeah, so in the play-in, they would play in Miami, and if they win, they go to the next round. If one of them loses, they're out.
Yeah.
Which, I'm recalling a certain someone who I know still watches us, even though we blocked them from talking because we disappointed with them. You got to come out them pockets because the parlay lord will be coming to collect, my brother. We do have the video.
It was a Heat fan, wasn't it?
Yeah.
He knows who he is.
Yeah. Pay my man his monies, man. Pay my man his money. Yo, listen, it does not feel better than taking money out of other fans' pockets for sure. Yeah, especially when they bet against the Knicks in anything. And if you're a rival team, for sure. So yeah, pay my man his monies. Make sure.
Jackass.
But they gotta play this hard. You know what I mean? Even though we should be winning these games more handily, I just want them to think about it like this. If you blow them out in the first 3 quarters, then you get the rest of the 4th quarter. Just saying. Just saying. Just saying. Let's try that route, right? Let's try to go up by 30 in the first 3 quarters. So, think about your fellow players too, right? You get to give the Pacome Daddiers and the Tyler Koleks, you feel me? The Ariel Hart parties. Yeah. Sohan. You know what I mean? We got think about those guys and get these blowouts, man.
Ariel Hutporty scored 32 today for the Westchester Knicks. By the way,
who says the Knicks can't develop play? It's just not their time on the main roster, but in the future, if we keep these kids, we're going to contribute in a big way because they get in the experience and they're excelling. They're showing you that they're NBA players, right? Them going to do what they're doing in Westchester is showing you we don't belong here. We don't belong here. We belong in the main roster. It's just the depth chart don't allow them to get much PT. Pacome, he's going to be something pivotal in our future, right? So I believe so will Tyler too. And I'm not going to lie, Ariel got a few things to work on, but I think he's going to take longer to develop than the other 2. I think the other 2 are closer to contributing right now than Ariel is on a consistent basis. And once it happened, I give it another year or 2. And then we're going to be talking about them and raving about the big games that they having on the main roster because, to be perfectly honest, in the next 2 to 3 years, we're going to have a financial crisis. Like, there's going to be some tough conversations that need to be had.
definitely going to have some of those tough conversations because the contracts are going to be up eventually. And so even if we don't develop them to be part of our future, at least they're developing their own. And, that's always good to see. I mean, yeah, we always want our kids to stay with us. But, let's be realistic. How long do you think the Cap's going to be here? He's going to be here for another 5. Mikal, OG. I mean, unless some crazy trade happens, this is going to be the team that we're going to be having. So it's kind of like how you've always had that problem with the Yankees, where you have outfielders, but you have no outfield spots. You have all these kids in the farm system, but you have no room to put them. So that's why they keep on bringing more pitchers, but they can't. And they're trading away their outfielders because they have no place to put them. So I like what I saw from the kids over in Westchester. I did catch some of those highlights. I think what you just said is the perfect way to segue into that. Is that they show you they don't belong there. They belong.
Exactly what when Deuce was there. They're going down, they're showing out, and then it's like, all right, send me back up.
But look at the other night. Look at the other night. Tyler Kolek scored 42 in Westchester, then played 5 minutes with the Knicks and scored 12 in 12 minutes. I'm like, what the?
Yeah.
He was just hot as hell.
Yeah, he had a great day. He had a great day. Yeah, they don't belong there, obviously. And you're right. Whether it be with our team or using them to get more assets in the future, we are doing a great job developing those kids. I think we have. Like, our coaching staff has been tremendous in that way. Like, they're not the biggest names. These are diamonds in the rough. So you also got to give credit to the scouts who scouted these kids for drafting them. I think we've done a great job since the tenure of Leon Rose of finding guys and being like, yeah, this is the guy. Like if you talk about Emmanuel Quickly, Obi Toppin, Quentin Grimes, like all the RJ Barrett before Leon. That was the number 3 overall pick. That's before Leon. But yeah, and then you talking about Ariel Hug Purdy, talking about the Deuce, you talk about Kumo D, like, which is a super steal. That's going to be one of the biggest steals in NBA history. I'm trying to tell you. I see it.
Which kind of like interludes into the next topic, doesn't it, T? Because I mean, these are all draft picks.
Yeah.
And someone started to really criticize the use or the misuse of the New York Knicks trade draft assets.
We didn't download his clip, did we?
No.
Got that. All right, don't worry about it.
But I think that we can preface this. I think we've all seen it. We've all heard it. We've all know what it is. So whenever you're ready, my friend.
Yeah, all right, but let me land the plane for people who didn't. Take the plane off for people who didn't know. So Stephen A. Smith gets on First Take yet again, meat riding the Knicks and complaining about all the draft picks that we gave up for Mikal Bridges because Josh Hart came in the defense of his player and saying that people are unfairly criticizing Mikal Bridges because of what he's being asked, like what is expected and what he's being asked from the coaching staff are two different things. So Stephen A. Smith thought it was prudent to tell Josh Hart that he needs to be quiet. One, I didn't like that, right? And then told him to have a seat. I ain't like that either. You know what I mean? So now, cue the music. Cue the music. Oh, man, I'm glad my daughter's asleep because I'm about to do some cursing. Yeah. I am tired of this no hairline having the weed. I'm tired of them. Yo, how dare you? Can we turn down the volume just a little bit on the... Yeah, thank you. I'm tired of this no hairline having Dweeb always trying to criticize the Knicks. And how dare you tell the heart of the city that he needs to sit down and sit this one out? No, he's doing exactly what he needs to do. Stand up for his teammate. Because if you look at some of the stats that you talk heads like to use to prove your points, win shares, stuff like that, Mikal isn't either number 1 or number 2 in most of those categories. He may not be filling up the stat sheet every night, but the stats that y'all love to lean to make y'all points whenever you, because y'all love stats when it helps your arguments on the team. Mikal is top 3 in a lot of statistical categories. So what are you talking about? Oh, we gave up all these picks. 2 of the picks are playing right now. One is averaging 3 points a game, and the other one is barely averaging 5. Fuck them picks. When you look at what Mikal, oh yeah, I saw what he did last year, the playoffs. Yeah, he helped lock down some games in defense. That's what he's here for, you fucking dweeb. We don't need Mikal to score 20 a night. We don't. We have Jalen Brunson and Karl-Anthony Towns. And obviously, we gave the third scoring option to OG Anunoby. We need Mikal to hit open corner threes and play defense. And he's been playing defense, a hell of a defense all season. That's the one thing that he hasn't lacked on doing all season. But here you go. Oh, we gave up 7 picks. We gave up 7 picks. You know the likelihood of a first round pick that's not like in the top 5 being any good in the NBA? I'm gonna let you know it's slim enough.
Yeah.
Most people don't even last outside of right. Most people don't even last outside of 5 seasons. So here you are complaining about some draft picks, and them niggas get waived every day, B. Draft picks get waived every day, B. You worry about some draft picks that ain't gonna be worth a damn because we're gonna be good for a while. Even if we didn't make the trade for Mikal, as long as Jalen Brunson is on this team, we're probably going to be top 5 in the East for the foreseeable future. So what do we draft picks? You talking about picking 21st, 23rd in the first round? That's what we worried about? You know why they're unprotected? Because we're not going to be bad enough for the protection to matter. We're not going to be bad enough for the protection to matter.
Yeah.
And we gave up 3 unprotected. So what? We're trying to win a championship. You dweeb. That's what I'm getting back to too. Calling motherfuckers dweebs. Because people are dweebs. You bad suit wearing. All that money you got and you can't get a decent suit to save your life. Partially it's because you ugly. That's what it is. You're ugly and your hairline all the way back. That's why you really hate it. You really hate it because they're doing things that you wish you could do. Right? We know you had hoop dreams. But you hoop more like the decent man. Well, I'm the decent man in the city, you demons. That's who he hooped like. Have you ever seen that kid shoot basketball in his videos? Y'all know who I'm talking about? The decent man. I'm a decent man in the city, you demons. Niggas be shooting, niggas be scheming. Senseless violence. He hooped like him. I seen Stephen A's jump shot. It's nasty. It's nasty. Yeah, I'm gonna land the plane on the rant there, but yo, Stephen A, real talk, bro. I know things ain't going as smooth as it used to be on First Take, but you gotta find another trick, man. You gotta find another trick. Obviously, you don't watch basketball. I'm convinced at this point you highlight watch. You know what we used to call another person that I used to. I'm not gonna do that to him. What we used to call Big Fan Breezy. That's still my guy. A highlight vlogger. He's a highlight analyst. You feel me? Because a lot of things you say don't make sense. It don't make sense. It don't make sense if you watch the games. Because you still see how very important Mikal Bridges is to this team, even though he's been having offensive struggles. And that's why, like a night like tonight, when he scored, how much, 14?
14.
When he scored 14, it is more satisfying because right after the hate you gave us 14. Yeah, Stephen A.
Which is, by the way, his career average.
Yeah. We all know what Mikal could do. We all seen it firsthand. You know what I mean? Pack Stephen A. the fuck up. Pack them whack ass takes the fuck up. Pack them ugly ass suits you be wearing the fuck up. Pack that nasty ass hairline you got the fuck up. Pack the fact that you are a fake Knicks fan the fuck up. And then what's the hardest thing? Yeah, Fluke, I said that. He hooped like a decent man. Shout out to my brother Fluke in the comments, man. Yeah, it is nasty takes, man. Nasty takes from a nasty guy, man. Yeah. Stephen A is a nasty guy. Oh, that's what I was about to say. Yeah, I'm never going to take him serious as a Knicks fan or care what he has to say when regarding the Knicks. Ever after I saw him talking about he's leaving the Knicks and he was in the Barclays. I saw it. You can't tell me nothing after that. You can't tell me nothing. I don't care how much you get him. Nobody can tell me that I'm not a Knicks fan. Nobody can tell me. Bro, in the overforced New York accent, it's nasty. It's nasty, bro. I know performative arts when I see it. And you being a New Yorker is performative arts at this time. You being a New York Knicks fan is performative arts. I don't like it. You get no respect over here. Most Knicks fans don't respect you. They don't respect your handle. They don't respect your thoughts. I don't even watch First Take no more, to be perfectly honest. I just see the highlights when they come across my desk. When he's talking crazy about the Knicks. That's when I see First Take. First Take is a joke. He's a joke. His expensive bad suits are a joke. He dressed like a clown. Yeah, I'm done.
Sis, you want to add anything to that?
I mean, I don't even acknowledge him as a Knicks fan, to be honest. Like you said, he could go back to Brooklyn and go cheer them motherfuckers on. I'm good on him. And I tweeted his ass that you want Josh to shut up. We want to never hear from you. Talk about the Knicks ever. Because everything you say is irrelevant. No Knicks fan respects you. We actually watch you so that we can laugh. Because you're a fucking clown. And that's it. That's all I got to say.
Clown.
Bozo the clown at that.
I try to be politically correct when it comes to Stephen A. Smith because I respect him for. No, I'm gonna let me explain it. I try to be politically correct in that aspect because I respect what he's achieved and his clout and all that stuff and that kind of thing. But I also believe that Stephen A. Smith is kind of like a WWE wrestler. He's a performance. And the person that you see on TV is a performer performing a performance. The performance is of a diehard Knicks fan. And because I honestly don't know what Knicks fan, with a true blue Knicks fan, would be, would say that they're a Knicks fan and say nothing but truly negative stuff throughout the season, knowing the cycle of and the ups and downs that go through an NBA season, and for him to tell Josh Hart, to sit down and be quiet. First of all, that's his teammate. He's been his teammate since 2017, 2016, give or take. I'm not exactly sure the exact date, but it's been more than 10 years. Secondly, Mikal Bridges is a defensive stopper. Averages, as I just quoted a minute ago, 14.6 points a game for his career. The only times he scored more than 20, for the season is when he was in Brooklyn because he had to. He had to. He was the only one that was there. It wasn't Nick Clarkson. It wasn't Cam Thomas. It wasn't this dude. It was him. He was the fucking team. And then he wants to cry about the 5, 6, 7, 8, 32, 409 draft picks, which we on this show consistently say, fuck them picks. Let me explain to you why those picks, why there were so many. Because it was Brooklyn, a team who we have not traded with in almost 30 years. Secondly, Mikal Bridges was their superstar. Now, given I agree that we gave up a lot of picks, maybe too many from Mikal Bridges, but as T alluded to in his rant, what were those picks going to be? 22nd, 23rd, 28th overall? Next part, and this is directly to Stephen A. Smith. Can you not make it so much fucking obvious when you're on First Take, when you're on ESPN, when you're talking to Mad Dog, when you're on your show, how much you on Giannis's dick? This is the one person in this world that is so mad that Giannis Antetokounmpo is not a New York Knick, because the only reason why we have to hold on to draft picks is so that we can trade them to Milwaukee so we can get Giannis into the Garden. When if you really did your research, and before he did this, there was a report within the last 10 days that prior to the NBA trade deadline, the Golden State Warriors offered the Milwaukee Bucks 4 first-round picks plus a bunch of players and cash considerations for Giannis Antetokounmpo, and Milwaukee said no. So what the fuck were the Knicks going to offer?
Yo.
Spike Lee? Us?
No, not us.
No, they would have to offer us to Milwaukee.
What you call it? Stephen A. has been a star chaser for as long as I can remember. He don't care who the star is.
Since 2010.
He just we need a star. We need a superstar. And he don't care who it is. He was on KD and Kyrie dick. You feel me? And I had reservations about that as well. I didn't want KD. I was cool with Kyrie. I didn't want KD, right? And look how well that worked out for us. Thank you, Jesus, because Brooklyn Nets is going to feel the ramifications of those two plus James Harden for the next 10 years. For the next 10 years, they're still going to be trying to recover from that situation, right? So look how
recovered from KG and Paul Pierce.
That was supposed to be the recovery, and look what happened. So it's not all that is cracked up to be, and you're chasing after Giannis, but you're being blind to the obvious, which I believe everybody on this panel said, that he ain't healthy no more. It's not healthy. What, he played like 50-something games this season, if that many? But this is the guy you want to trade the farm for. He wasn't healthy last year in the postseason. I don't care how good of a player you are. If you're not on the court, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how good you are if you can't play. It doesn't exactly. It don't matter how good you are. If you're not on the court, it doesn't matter. Look, Zion, phenomenal talent. You know why he's not a star? Because he hasn't been on the court to be a star. This is the most he's ever been on the court in his whole career. And this is year 5. No, 7.
He's played like half
his career.
all the games that he was supposed to play. He's
played half his career.
And that lands to my point. It doesn't. All I'm saying is, it doesn't matter how good you are if you're not available.
Right.
And us trading for Giannis would have crippled the team.
Yep.
It would have set us back 3 years. Then we have to go scramble, not only to find more support and cash players, but find them on a cheap enough deal that it matters, right? Because this team is expensive right now, as is. You feel me? So, yeah.
I think Knicks fans, including him, are still in the 17-win Knicks mentality. Like, we need draft picks. We need to, we need first-round draft picks, a high pick. And we do not. We're not in that part of, our franchise right now. Like, we're at a point where, like Dom said last season, if we got to go to the fucking second apron to win a championship, this is the motherfucking time to do it. Fuck those picks. Honestly, everyone says we gave up too much for him, but was that too much when he won us some playoff games last season? He won us some playoff series last season? Were there's too many picks then? Nah, because y'all was riding him Y'all was riding him when he stole the ball them 2 times. You know what I mean? It's only too much when he doesn't put up 20 points a night. When Josh was 100% right. We don't need him to. He's not our number 1, not our number 2. Damn near not our number 3. He's probably closer to our number 4 and 5. It's him and Josh at the end of the totem pole for the starting lineup. So we do not need him to give us what he gave Brooklyn, what he gave Phoenix. We need him to give us exactly what he's given us. Yes, his shooting has, been off lately, but the last couple of games, you see them shots falling through right at the right time, coming into, going into playoff season. So Josh was 100% right. Knicks fans need to get out of that mentality of we need draft picks. We're not there yet. We're not in rebuild mode where we need fucking draft picks. And let's not forget that our front office has done great with late first round, second round picks.
Yeah,
we have done absolutely great with selecting guys that no one knows who have created names for themselves on our team. I'm good. Fuck every one of them 7 picks.
To me, them second round picks are super valuable for the Knicks, right? Because we turned them into players who actually still get. Not a lot of second round picks still stay in the NBA like past like their second year, and I think since Leon Rose's tenure, I could probably name like 4 or 5 of them that's still in the NBA. Got Jericho Sims. He's in Milwaukee getting burned and having a really good year for somebody who's Quentin Grimes. He's first round.
No, he's second rounder.
You sure? I thought he was a late first rounder. He's the same draft as Deuce. Deuce was the second rounder. Quentin Grimes was a late first rounder.
The other way around.
Yeah, Deuce was a second rounder. But whatchamacallit? But yeah, to my point, like for what this team is and what this team is building itself to be, we are taking along the project kid, like the kids that needs a little bit more development, and making them into something because they're going to be cheaper. When it's time to re-sign them, guess what? They're going to be cheaper. When we have to sign Mo Diawara, he's going to be cheaper than he was if he was a first-round pick. The numbers are different, and that matters.
He was a 25th pick by the Clippers. That's why. That's why I thought he was a second rounder. Yeah,
we traded for him. Word. Yeah, but But that's what I'm saying. The second round picks for us are more valuable because they're going to be cheaper. You may not get the first round. The first round guys are potential. Like they're high expectation. Higher ceiling guys, right? The second round guys are projected with lower ceilings, but whatever our scouting team has been doing, they know something, and they got a good beat on these second round guys. And again, fuck them first round picks, because like I said, 2 of them are playing this season for the Nets, and they're not having anything to write home about. Their seasons are nothing to write home about.
Right. And let's not forget, there's been superstars that were drafted in the second round. And so with the right scouting, you can have a star, aka our superstar.
Yeah,
second round pick.
Facts.
Second round pick. Joker,
Facts.
second round pick. Manu Ginobili, second round pick. We're talking big names.
Yeah. Yeah, and again, you also, like I said, we're not a rebuild team.
Right.
Like, I don't care about no kid that's going to come out the late first round. The likelihood that you're going to help us win is slim to none.
Right.
Right?
Crazy thing is we still have picks. We still have picks. Like, we have 2 of our own this year. We have 1 of our own, 1 from Washington. We have 2 second rounders this year. We have draft picks in 2028 to the 27th pick went to Brooklyn.
But the one for Washington is protected
1 through 8.
So we're not going to see that pick.
Yeah. But like you said, we still got 2. Right?
Yeah, so if we don't get that pick because it's protected, it then converts to 2 second round picks.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is, you said that we have 2 first rounders coming up this year, right?
Well, the Washington pick and then our own in 2026.
So we still got our own pick? No,
we still got our own pick. Which if you really think about it, if whoever we're drafting, we're probably gonna end up trading it. And if things don't go exactly we want, then Stephen A. Then you can have your Giannis.
Yo, wait. Hold on. So the only year we're missing the first round pick is 2027.
27, 20. Let me confirm it. 27. We don't have a pick. The 28 has a crap load of protections and stuff like that because it Philly's 2028 first round pick, which may be protected 1 through 8. Others conveys to Brooklyn. We don't have one in 29, but we have one in 30. We don't have it in 31. We do have it in 32. Yeah. So all these picks that that we actually did trade, the number sounds so much higher because we had so many last year.
Yeah.
But it's only because we acquired most of them that weren't our own. Yes, we sent our own pick.
Yeah. So now, this is what
Brooklyn,
makes it.
Thank you. Enjoy.
This is what makes Stephen A's complaint about all the picks even more stupid, because we still have picks. It's not like we bankrupt you. It's not like what Isaiah Thomas did to us in the early 2000s.
You mean trade a pick for Bargnani?
Well, we went like 3 years without a first round pick. You feel me? If the way this man gets on TV and bitch and moan about those traded first round picks, you would think that we will bankrupt a first round picks for 3 to 4 years straight. You would think it. But we're going to pick this year in the first round. We're going to miss 20. Who says we're going to miss 2017? 2027. We don't know, because somebody can get traded and we can get that pick. Like, we don't know. It's crying, 7 picks for Mikal Bridges.
You could have had Giannis up in the garden, yeah.
Listen. Would I complain if we got Giannis? Not really, right? I'd probably complained about whatever we had to give up to Giannis, because it would have been a shit ton of stuff.
It would have been huge salary.
It would have been Cat and a shit ton of draft picks.
Cat, OG, and a shit ton of draft picks because Milwaukee's gonna want something. They're gonna want and Deuce.
And I don't want that. I don't want that. That's too much. It's too much. Love Giannis. I like watching Giannis play, but too much. Too much. Nope. No, thank you.
I'm not giving up all that for a guy who can't shoot.
You hear what I'm saying? You feel me? But he's Stephen A. is a front runner fan. He is a front runner fan. He is. It like when LA was buzzing and doing good, you saw him at the Laker games. When he
don't get me started when he was in Miami.
You saw him at South Beach. Yeah. You when he thought Brooklyn was going to do something, he jumped ship. Oh, I'm done. I remember. We don't forget these things. I remember. Oh, I'm done. I'm going to Brooklyn. I'm going. Yep. I'm going to Brooklyn. He was there. Then when the niggas got good again, orange and blue skies, baby.
New York, stand up.
Listen.
Yeah, we are standing up.
Yeah, listen.
We're standing up and walking away from the TV every time you come on.
Born and raised New Yorker. I got the New York accent. I know it. I hear. I never really realized I had a New York accent until one day I'm listening to myself talk on
it's
something.
Weird,
and I'm like, I said, "Yo, that's crazy." I didn't even know I said it.
It's
like
weird.
That. I didn't even know I said that like that.
I didn't think I had an accent either until I left New York, and I started and like, yo, you from New York? I'm like, how you know? And since you know it firsthand, you live in where you live.
But my thing is, but when I hear him do that, New York, stand up, that don't.
It's so fake.
Don't sound as authentic, homie. You feel me? But I also do know born and raised New Yorkers who don't have a New York accent.
Well, no, you can tell that he had one, and then he did kind of what I did, which is I got rid, like I try to work mine, like get rid of mine because I didn't want to be that to be my identifier.
Yeah.
Because and obviously with his job as a reporter, he has to be able to eloquently, explicitly say things in an accent, without an accent. So you can tell that he worked at that.
I don't like that.
Trying to bring it back.
I hear you, right? But I don't like that because there's a lot of people that's on TV, analysts that have accents from where they are. You know what I mean? Whether
it's more accepted now, but it wasn't in the 90s. And it wasn't in the early 2000s.
Still, no, yeah. There's a few of them. That had their local colloquialisms. You know what I mean? And all those things. I just don't like it. I don't like it.
Yeah, it's they overly so. Like I know people personally who have lost some of their accent. Their New York accent. So when they go and talk and they want to sound New York, they emphasize certain words that they think other people would be like for example, when we be like, "Oh, your mother," right? We naturally say mother, right? Not ER, it's an A, right? But when they go and say it, "Oh, your mother," we don't talk like that. We don't need to emphasize it. It's just natural to us. And that's what he does. Like, yo. That's some.
Yeah.
That shit gives us New Yorkers a bad name because when you move out of state or you meet people from other states, they expect you to still talk the way they see these idiots talk on TV. Like, they be like, "Oh, y'all don't say son. Yo, what up, son?" No, we.
First of all,
normally talk.
I'm saying this shit ain't the fucking 90s.
Right, exactly.
Well,
now you get a couple of drinks with me, the sun and gun and God, that will come back, after a few drinks, but
well, like my father, he's been living in South Carolina for like almost 20 years now, right? And he has a southern accent because from a child he spent summers in South Carolina, so it's kind of already ingrained in there. But now he has more of a southern accent. But when you get him talking enough, you be like, yeah, I still hear you. He be like, yeah, I'm country now. I'm like, nah, it's still there, pops. Like,
Brooklyn don't leave you like that.
Nah, he from the Bronx.
Oh shit!
Yeah, my father from the Bronx. As he would say, I'm from the Boogie Dam. Word, you feel me? But yeah, I'm done talking about that guy. It's over. We spend way too much time talking about that bozo, man. Listen, y'all know what's up. Y'all know what real Knicks fans look like. Y'all know what time it is. And I haven't seen a real New York Knicks fan say that he's won. That's all I got to say about that.
Just the people on TV with him, they're the only ones that say that.
And that last thing, I'm sorry. And this is why he gives New York Knicks fans such a bad rap, because a lot of people look to him as what a New York Knicks fan is, because that's what he claims, and he's not that. So when they see him acting and performing the way he does, they think this is what we all think. And no, that's not what we think. Not at all. Not at all. I've seen people complain about Mikal, but also I've seen more people in support of Mikal than I've seen him complain. Obviously, we're going to keep it a buck and be like, yo, Mikal, you got to step it up, gang. You feel me? Which is true. Offensively, he has to get back his rhythm. But I'm not saying, oh, we traded 7 picks for you, so you need to be scoring 16, 18 points a game. Oh. No.
Or blaming him for the fact that Tom Thibodeau is fired.
That's
the other argument.
It's not his fault. And then you work with Monica McNutt. I'm pretty much sure she told you firsthand that's not what Mikal was saying, because she said it on First Take herself. Hey, I don't believe that's what he meant. I think he was just trying to get his guys some PT. Mikal is a gamer, bro. He's a gamer. You can't tell me somebody who goes out there and plays every game is complaining about being tired. Because Mikal said himself, I've had games where I thought I wasn't going to be able to play, but I toughed it out and went out there. So you telling me that guy that could take days off because he's legitimately hurt, but said, you know what? I'm going to go out there and tough through this injury and still play, is the ones complaining, oh, we're playing too many minutes? No. What he's trying to say is, what he did say was, we have other guys on the bench. That's what he said.
We have other talent, yep.
He didn't say, oh, I'm tired. He said, I think some of the other guys on the bench are good and they deserve to play. I'm paraphrasing, but that was said. Mm-hmm. But you turn it into, oh, he got to push Tom Tip. You know, watching Stephen A., he's the sports version of Star Magazine. Y'all remember Star Magazine?
Yeah.
From back in the day? Tabloids.
He's on a soap opera, so it makes sense.
He's sports tabloids. Yeah, but unless y'all got anything else, we could pack this up. Who that? I can't even see. That's OG. That's OG. Yeah. My boy OG. What's that like? He definitely leader in defensive player of the game.
It's like his 31st one or something like that.
Gotta be, bro. Gotta be. Where's JB? Because he's always hiding in the back.
He's in an interview.
Oh, he was doing the interview?
Probably.
I'm just happy that Shem is.
Who's that behind? Nah, that's him behind Diawara. With his hand on the helmet. With his hand on the helmet.
Let me see.
Oh, yeah. That's JB. I'm just glad that Shem is wearing a shirt, because I mean, every time we see him,
listen, man, you got to do what you got to do, man. You know what I mean? You got to let them know. You know this going viral. We got to.
That is him. You're right. You're right, T.
Yeah, I knew he was there. he always doing something stupid. But yeah, man, unless y'all got anything else, you know, we could wrap this up.
We will be back on Thursday night following the Knicks and the Hornets. I also encourage, if you have the time tomorrow, 7 p.m. on X Spaces. I'll be hosting a live with Steve Azul, cover the Knicks, and of course the rest of the NBA at large. So please feel free on X. But yeah, we'll be back on Thursday for the Knicks and Hornets.
So if you didn't do so already, make sure you hit that like button. Share as always, Karen. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe. Hit that notification bell. Set it to all so you don't miss any Knicks and Ish lives. If you got some time, stop by the Shopify, cop some merch. You know what I mean? Mrs. Knicks is wearing one of our lovely hoodies. You feel me? Get you a hoodie, get you a mug, a cognac glass, what you call it, a mouse pad. We got some blankets, some socks. You feel me? we got a few things up there. You know what I mean? Yeah, so somebody gotta do it.
Hit the
Yeah,
outro.
bro.
Boom shakalaka! The Knicks are grit. These kids and our party just lit. Bet it's the lit.